Hi, my name is Megha, and I'm a Gujarati, but from Bihar, now Jharkhand, born and raised in Jharkhand. A good part of my future education has happened in Maharashtra, where my father moved eventually in Nasik. Then I did my engineering from a college in Usmanabad, computer science and engineering, and then landed up with my first job in Nasik in this company called Bosch, as a training in their electronic data processing department. Now it's called IT department. Now every company has got their own IT department. Those years back then it was called the EDP department. Yeah, so long story short, been working since past 20 years now. That's about it. Currently, I'm working as I've taken a break from my IT profession after 19 years of working in IT, and I took a break for some time, and then I realized I wanted to do something, so I joined my son's school. I'm part of an alternative school where I teach maths in middle and high school.
Hi, my name is Gautam. I was born in Mumbai. I grew up in a small village called Kaulgud. It's a town now, Kaulgud. And it was probably the happiest time of my life. Growing in a village, doing things that you can't do in cities. But anyways, after that, I moved to Nashik. I did my engineering in Nashik, and then was also joined Bosch as my first company. I work in IT for money, but to live, I like to spend a lot of time with my kids. I like to drive a lot. So one of my other goals is to probably drive from Pune to Kathmandu, Bhutan, and back. So maybe someday I'll pursue that. But yeah, so an adventurous person I have.
आपको कैसे पता चला my services and how this financial services and financial planning?
So I think सुहास पाटिल हमारे साथ सुहास पाटिल हमारे यहाँ हमने उनके साथ काम करना शुरू किया था क्योंकि थोड़े फंड्स आ गए थे और हमको शेयर में इन्वेस्ट करना था तो सुना था शेयर में इन्वेस्ट करने से काफी पैसे मिल सकते हैं और सुहास ने हमारे लिए कुछ इन्वेस्टमेंट की जो अच्छी थी बट एक दफा जब आए थे हमारे घर पे तो आपको भी लेके आए थे और उन्होंने बताया मतलब आपने इंट्रोड्यूस कराया आपको और आपने बताया आई थिंक 2011-12 के आसपास और आपने कहा कि मैं डिस्कस करना चाहता हूँ कि आपकी लाइफ में गोल्स क्या है तो मेरे लिए वो एक आई ओपनर था क्योंकि सोचा ही नहीं था गोल ये कि बच्चे पढ़ लिख के अपना अपना देख ले और हम लोग अपना रिटायरमेंट मतलब लॉन्ग टर्म गोल यही था शॉर्ट टर्म गोल होते हैं आपके लेकिन लॉन्ग टर्म गोल उससे ज़्यादा आगे सोचा नहीं था पर्टिकुलर्स की क्या होता है क्या नहीं होता है तो आई थिंक वो दैट वाज द फर्स्ट टाइम वी मेट एंड वो एक इम्प्रेशन था कि हमको सोचना पड़ा कि जो क्वेश्चन पूछा है वो ऐसा आंसर नहीं था सोचना पड़ा आई थिंक दैट वाज द फर्स्ट इंटरेक्शन
Megha ji for you also.
For me, same thing. Basically, Suhas introduced us way back in 2011 or 12, like around 11 years back now. And I remember that first meeting. We were sitting here, this dining table was there, and I remember that first meeting where you had set up that meeting and said that you just want a meeting to discuss your goals in life, as he said. Yeah, it got us thinking a lot because till that time it was a lot about investing on the go. थोड़ा पैसा एक्स्ट्रा है तो इन्वेस्ट कर लो किसी ने बोला ये शेयर अच्छे हैं तो ले लो ऐसे it was like
I remember very much it's very difficult that time to do per person and paying the fee for advice.
Yes.
Why you feel that time paying fee is very important or why you pay fee because most of the time in India you get advice free of course.
I remember our fees, the way the fees have changed over the years. I mean, I'm not talking the amount, but even the way the fees has been designed, structured, has changed over these years. But we realized very soon that this fees was not for selling us particular products. It was more for an advice in terms of how we can make our goods, and advice in terms of realistic and practical approaches. Okay, what are the different instruments available, and why you should not put everything in shares, and why you should not put everything in mutual funds or property or so on and so forth, right? So it was extremely important from that perspective. It is not just one-sided.
And okay, back to it. 10 years back, trusting someone to pay the fee and get advice. Do you remember anything in that time? Why? What do you think? Because you are my first client that time, and I really appreciate you believe on me and you took that initiative because where we that time working, you take the first fee and then advice. It's not that I started advice and then you pay fee. Till date, we are working like the same way. But that belief you have, whatever I have explained, what we do you remember anything that you can?
I can probably start. When we had that first conversation, as I said, we discussed our investments till then. As Mega said, we were investing with the sole purpose that this money should go out, and there was nothing else in mind. So when we spoke, one thing, as I said, was that you brought the goal perspective into picture, which we had not done. So that was one positive. Second positive was when you saw our investments, you clearly said you have done a lot of your investments in ULIPs, and you explained to us in detail how these ULIPs are actually going to be detrimental for you in terms of returns. And I think that plus a few other, like you do not blindly invest in property because you don't necessarily sell it. You're not timing the market. That is not our job. So those 2 or 3 inputs, I think, made us think that this person knows what he's talking. He's not talking in thin air. तो उनको पता है कि वो क्या बोल रहा है, और उन्होंने मुझे 2-3 ऐसे एग्जांपल्स बताए अभी के अभी जो मुझे दिख रहा है कि अगर मैंने ये पहले किया होता तो शायद मैं इससे बेटर पोजीशन में होता. I think that you generated that trust, and for us it was like let's go and see what plan he's making and how does it look. And I think that plan was really good. I mean, it brought in so many perspectives जो हमने सोचे नहीं थे कि हमको ये भी प्लान करना चाहिए. So I think for me it was the trust came in from the first interactions where you were able to show me the potential of your advice.
Oh, madam, when you
I don't have to add to most of it. I think I completely agree. Yeah.
that I like because at that time I think Meghaj is more focused on in terms of finance. So she was looking that time.
I mean, I've always been very curious. I have always been the person who asks more questions in this house.
I'm interested.
Yes. And, okay. So that's her first. Okay. How do you find as an NS at the time, what do you think that he is the best one to make your goals possible?
I think they answered that.
Can you tell us one or two incidents specific in your life where you advisory services from NS help you to handle that situation better? And how do you feel about that experience? Can you tell me about that? So, how you get
I'll add and then you can add to it. So, one or two incidents, I had a personal health scare, right? In 2017, when I had GPS, Guillain-Barré syndrome, in which I was neck down paralyzed. And that was, we did not know how long it would take for me to recover. I clearly couldn't work. And since I was almost paralyzed, Megha had to also leave each, we didn't leave our job, but we had to take a sabbatical, which meant that there was no money coming in for an extended period, more than 3 months. But because of, thanks to your advice on, we should have an emergency fund, which is 6 times of your monthly income, right? That meant that we knew for 6 months we don't have to worry, we never had thought of an emergency fund before we spoke to you. We had savings, but it was not for emergency fund. It was there. But this emergency fund gave us the confidence that let's concentrate on getting even rather than thinking, how do you pay the bills over here. So that was one thing which I really thank myself we got in touch with you. And I think the second one which I think is about again it's not a one particular incident, but maybe when we were thinking about adding property or like we have either we are or can we invest in this, can we invest in that, and I think you always told us look at the long term. Your returns should be much better if you invest in mutual funds or in the market, let's say. Because you guys are not looking at timing the market and saying that this property has gone from X lakhs to X lakhs. Now sell it, otherwise it will go down or it will stagnate. We are not doing that. So then it won't be a good investment decision to just invest in property. So this is not one incident, but that helped us get away from the property cycle.
Yeah, investing in property was something like, because our friends in IT used to do that all the time. We used to quite hear that मैंने ये property लिया, मैंने यहाँ पे ये घर लिया, मैंने बॉम्बे के फ्रिंजेस में लोधा में एक apartment लिया 1 BHK and all that. And we used to think, are we not thinking enough? Are we not doing enough for our future? We are also somewhat earning similar to them. Okay, हम लोग why are we not doing it? And we had those discussions with you, and we thought, then we realized, when you are investing in property, for that matter, you are investing in anything. In this case, property, you should be aware of when the property prices will peak and when do you want to sell it off and come out of that place. Because at a certain point, it will start stagnating. It will start showing a base. Right? And that's when you have to come out of it. And if you're not ready to do that very often, then please stay away from it as an investment option. Unless you have enough, and now you can look at other areas of. So that was a good advice, and I think you stuck to it. And the GBS thing was absolutely there in terms of we both had stopped our incomes. We both were not working that time. We were on loss of pay. Of course, our organization helped us tremendously. Gautam's bosses and my superiors in my company also helped us a lot in terms of supporting that mental support. That mental anxiety was completely taken. You don't worry about your job at all. That was given by Wipro to us. But at the same time, the fact that we have the funds, you coming and telling us that do not worry about running your family. We did not have to.
Don't worry about your SIPs.
SIPs. You did not have to worry about your EMIs that we had to. I think we had one EMI that was there. So we did not have to, and we were very comfortable in those months that we were not earning. So
that's an emergency fund helps you to
yes.
that
was a practical exposure.
Yeah. Sometimes you be thinking you have asked me always why we keep this money in the with the 6-7 liquid funds, and but people realize when the emergency happens. So so that really
one thinks that you if with confidence, if you're good at your job, you don't think that you will not have work for a decent period. But health scare is something you can't control.
I very much remember.
So I often had those that bouts of frustrations that everybody comes across in their professional life. You are not doing enough for your family, or you are not having enough balanced time between your family and your profession, so on and so forth. And I've always been interested in so many other things rather than just working in IT. So I had those realizations. I would like to sometime leave my main profession and do something else. So that is one thing that I remember we had those discussions about. Can I take an early retirement, and would I? Even we had that discussion about Kaulgud for that matter. I remember. But I was always the one who was more as soon as my EMIs were over, I was thinking, can I just take a break from my work? So I think the financial planning discussions would help a lot to make that decision on time. Yeah.
To add to that, right, now I'm thinking about it. It was when, so if we hadn't met him, I think we would have said that, hey, can't even think of leaving our job. Let's ensure that we on as much as we can.
60, till we retire, let's
58,
work.
60,
Yeah.
and then that will be enough for us to take care of our kids' education and our retirement. But the plan helped us understand that whatever SIPs or investments we have done, if we do not have any more exorbitant expenses, that is enough for us. I mean, we know how much money we need to have on a monthly basis to cover ourselves for the next 20 years or whatever. So I think that helped ensure that you could take a break, or for me to see that do I really have to work till I'm 60? I mean, I want to work till the day I die, but not under money pressures. I want to work for whatever I want, right? With money or without money. But that helped us understand what is really required versus need versus want, right? And second is, I think also the realization that perhaps 85 is not the target age. Because nowadays you might want to stretch it to 90 or 90.
You might want to be. I mean,
You have to.
the
You have to.
age basically
Life expectancy
is
is lower.
increasing.
Yeah.
Life expectancy is increasing, and unfortunately, those last years of your life are not the most healthier ones. So expenses also increase during those 8 years of your life.
That planning helped us understand how much money actually we need to have. Versus
Most of the time people understand it's like a one-time money. Take a retirement and monthly you get, but at the financial plan you realize how it grows when inflation grows.
One more thing, I read a lot, and the other day I was reading some statistics, Nitin, how India made maximum number of senior citizens are today dependent on their children. They will not be able to survive all the way till the day they die. If their children are not there to take care of them, they will not. And so
from
many
a money
people-
perspective.
from a financial perspective. So that realization of is very, very important for all of us, and planning for it is very important.
Over the last 10 plus years, how the relationship with NSWell and within Sawan transformed to your life?
As we said, right, first thing which we are relaxed about money. We don't have to, we are not worried about do I need to go for a job which pays me more, because I have only 15 years left for the retirement age. So do I have to take more money? Do I have to cut down on expenses? Should I reduce my hoteling or whatever, right? Should I reduce my number of vacations or whatever? Now I don't worry at all. So that, and maybe that's why my hair is still black, but so that worry has gone. I think that over the past 10 years, I think gradually I'm at a much more relaxed space. And when I think of same even with my parents' perspective, they were not. They were really worried. Me and my brother were approaching the class 10, class 12, and education fees were even then not cheap. So how do they ensure that me and my brother get educated? Now I don't have to worry. I'm not at all worried about their education. So I think that is one big thing in the last 10 years.
Just to add, so basically the anxiety of saving for a purpose has gone away. We don't feel anxious anymore. At the same time, we also know our spending habits as a family. We are not extremely extravagant when it comes to spending. As well as the fact that we have a subject matter expert. We don't have to always be the subject matter expert. We can free our time to do other things that we are more passionate about, rather than just thinking about how will that thing be done, how will the finances for that thing in future come from. So that is something that we have given the responsibility to you, and you are taking care of it. So, and we have seen that in the last 10 years, it has guided us so well. And we are really hopeful that in the next years of our future, also it's going to do the same. So we have that kind of a confidence.
in terms of financial planning, how in terms of security, in terms of anxiety, in terms of confidence, wealth for you and your family, the overall happiness with the NS will.
As you said, I think the lack of anxiety is generated. That we are spending time in things that we want to do versus doing something that we don't need to do. So I think that has generated a lot of happiness. So in a sense, we are doing what we want. I mean, we're pursuing our passions, going on vacations, not worrying about anything else.
I've taken a break from my main career.
Main career.
And all that has happened only because we were able to plan on time with you.
I just to give an example, right? I mean, maybe a few years ago, not before we met you, if I had to go to Taj, I would have said, no, that's not a good thing about it. No, I don't. I can go because I know a little bit more experience here. My long-term goal is settled.
And that confidence come to know because of financial planning.
Financially, I don't worry at all.
And we may not be we are still middle class, upper middle class people, but we are very happy with the way, at least today, we feel that our money is.
What are the key highlights, say 2 to 3, which you felt in the last 10 plus years for which you believe that you can recommend the service to the next generation? And why should you, someone today, 30-35 years age, go for the financial and planning services?
So, when we started earning, we were about 21, 22 years of age, right? We got married when I was about 25. And waited from 25 till say 35, about 35, 34, 35. We were saving or investing in a very haphazard manner. We did not have any structure or any direction. But we were doing it because people around us were doing it and that was the right thing to do. You must save, you must invest for the future. Everybody told us that. But how to do it, how much to do it, where to do it, was not clearly answered. So we used to go to advisors, we used to go to people who we felt that were more knowledgeable, and they used to advise us certain policies, certain ULIP plans, certain mutual funds or whatever, and we used to know that. So I really feel that I would never want my children or my next generation or the younger ones who are passing out now and starting to earn now to do the same mistakes that we did. We could have easily backtracked our financial investment plans and by at least 8 to 9 years or 10 years. And as all of us know, compounding is gold. The power of compounding cannot be competed with anything else. So the earlier you start investing, the better. And the earlier you start structured investing, organized investing, it's good. So it's definitely anybody who takes that advice is going to be happy in the future.
So just to maybe a little bit correct you, when we started at 21-22, we were saving, we were not investing. A lot of our money was either lying in the bank or perhaps in some FD or buying gold because elders said buy gold, you report gold. Somebody said buy LIC, bought LIC. When the banks saw there is money in the bank, they said, hey, send an advisor and ask them to take certain
relationship manager
ULIP plans of their bank, their products. So we thought, yeah, why not? So we bought those ULIPs. So I think those are the mistakes. After we met you, we realized this is all crap. We have literally, I won't say lost, but a better part of those 10 years income didn't grow at all. It was just there. So had that investment happened when we were 25, had we started when we were 25, as Megha said, the compounding would have meant perhaps both of us would have meant.
Absolutely. So what's your really thought? What do you suggest for your next generation, as you rightly mentioned? And what things they should avoid? Because I don't know, you may be aware about trading. Now people are investing in the crypto. They don't know about the product or trading. immediate money or instant making money, people are thinking of investing. What's your view? If you have any experience in that terms?
Yeah, more than experience, yes, we have made real mistakes. We have put money initially where, just because somebody recommended a company and we got some shares for that company and all that. We, in some cases, we made money, in some cases, we lost money. We never did a lot of proper tracking though. There are so many new ways of making money these days. Cryptocurrency and, your so many different ways. And trading, of course. But as long as it is, you are not a subject matter expert. You are not neck deep in terms of reading about it or knowing about the company, knowing about the crypto, knowing about the company for where you are investing shares. You should not go for it. Trading is for people who know the company in and out. Rather than, that's what I always feel, that why don't leave that to the subject matter experts. Say for example, mutual fund advisors or mutual fund managers, fund managers are subject matter experts. It's their daily bread and butter to find out about the companies, to find out how that company is making money, where that company is heading for the future, what was the history of the company, so on and so forth. And that is why they are making those portfolios, and people like us can invest in that. So let them do that. Let them charge that small fee from us, and we are willing to pay that fee as long as they are doing all that reading, all that studying behind. Why to trade? Always ask that question. When you're trading in 5 companies, you may lose in some, you may win in some, but overall, are you gaining in your portfolio? Most often than not, you will not. You may win, you may make some money in 1 or 2 shares, but overall, in the long term, if you're just trading in and out and you're not an expert, your overall portfolio is going to either be a flat or downward, right?
Just to add to that, right? I think should you not invest in crypto? Should you not invest in shares or any other such things? I think if you want to try it out, there's nothing to harm in it. But I would think that a majority of your portion, say 90+%, should be some in a portfolio which will give you a guaranteed returns.
Not guaranteed returns, but yes.
Both CAGR, whatever. So where mutual funds,
balance
kind of
out
things,
distributed well.
I think that is. You may try it, but don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah, and do it only with some money that you're willing to lose.
Yeah.
You're okay to lose. You should not have a problem with it. I had gone in it with this, and if I've lost it, I should not think too much about it.
They should believe it.
Yes, of course.
They should not go on that I lost this.
Should not get it.
Even for example, buying lottery tickets or gambling for making money are a complete no-no for us. The chances, I'm a mathematics teacher, chances of probability are
Very good.
like very, very, very low. You only see that one person who wins that ticket, but you don't see those millions who have not won. Yeah.
So finally, how can we improve? First, digitally कैसे improve हो सकते हैं आपके हिसाब से जो आपका experience 10 साल में रहा है NSWell के साथ? As when I started, I was alone, and now you may be seeing the team in 15 plus team members are there who are serving you. So we improve at what do you think that digitally I should do so that will help you to really serve you better? Always I believe add value is more important, and that I'm doing. But since expectation always high, then so it's like a growth. You expect this, and then I will do that. So what is your?
I think when we started, we had those different platforms that you used to type with, then we had quarterly meetings where you show us. From there, now you have an app, so you have definitely come a long way. But what if you say what more would I like to see? And then something we have discussed in the past is that while I'm giving immense confidence, say that your current portfolio or the current investments are good enough to take care of most of your goals, and there's one goal which you said you may not be able to do it. So which is a good thing actually, which I may want to just add here is that I give you a list of goals and you said this goal you can't meet with your current income. So you decide what you want to do, and they drop that goal, right? So that I think that would like to call it out, right? So having said that, coming back, while I get the confidence that you say that these goals that you say are going to be met, I know there will be. But what I would like to see is, like, for example, when we do the investment, we say, okay, if for Vedant, for his college, which is happening after 3 years, your the fee should be, let's say, 5 lakhs in today's money, 5 lakhs, it will become X lakhs, right? And then you have already covered for it. What I would like to perhaps see is, like, today if my portfolio is X, what, and then it has to get to 5x till the age of 70, for example. And then just taking number. So on a yearly basis, is it going in that direction, or are we expecting to go it this way? Because it never will go that way. So there should be a linear way of that money, which is, let's say, 1 lakh to become 5 lakhs in 20 years. I'm just again giving an example. It has to have a linearity. So after every year, if I track it from 5 lakh, let's say after a year, it should be 5.3. For me to reach that 6, 7, 8 lakh, whatever, it should be 5.3. If it is not 5.3, then something is not. So if there's a way that I can track on a yearly basis, am I there?
Achievement detail is called.
I'm not achieving. I mean, am I on track to achieve my goals?
In terms of
On a yearly basis, on a yearly growth basis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So right.
That is there in some way, but maybe goal wise or something, and it could be there. It could be more.
That's the
Prominent.
only thing which I do not have. The rest, I mean, again, I said I'm pretty comfortable. But that's, if we talk about the point of improvement from a digital perspective, that's one thing. When at the age of 80, if I need X CR, am I there? Am I in that path? Is that money growing in a linear fashion?
Another, as far as your digital journey is concerned, I think you have taken the right decision. And we have moved on from Excel sheets. So when we started off, we were working on Excels, right? And now we are on a digital platform. With just a login, we can see how much we are there, and we have those apps also where we are able to see how much portfolio we are having, so on and so forth. I think you're doing the right things as long as you just ensure from whichever partners you are dealing with that data is secure, and we customers are aware that these are the measures that we are taking to keep that data secure. Because as much as India is moving to digital in the future, there's also a bigger and bigger scale of frauds, digital frauds happening. So, of course, we should move to digital, but we should move to digital only when we are 100% secure from all aspects. So,
that's a second. Should we improve on more physical interactions?
I think we do have decent amount of physical. We have, I think, quarterly meetings.
yeah.
And I think that, we are happy with the physical interaction. So now you're next door. You can drop by any time. So, but in general, we are happy.
Yeah, I think once in a quarter is a decent amount of physical interaction.
And those meetings are very holistic. So it's not like you meet only for 5 minutes.
Physical, in some cases, it may not be physical because we are away. I mean, in our case, we are in the same city, but in some cases, it's not possible. You may be catering to customers who are in some other cities or countries, so on and so forth. In that case, at least those Zoom meetings.
Not digitally present is there. So
Right, absolutely.
Should we improve on better reporting, visualization, and automation? As
Visualization is that maybe it is there, but we are still not seeing it.
At real time is not there. When we meet, then you can. I am able to
explain to us exactly what happened.
Other than that one point, I think, because we get the report, all the reports are there.
Yeah.
Every report you want, we are getting those alerts for vehicle insurance, life insurance, premiums, or whatnot. So I think that way everything.
And we are very, very happy that all the control is still with us. So whenever we are not blindly this money can be invested anywhere. Whenever an investment is happening, of course it is happening through us, and we are signing it off every time through our phone or laptop, and we are completely aware of it. Yes.
Yeah. So let's not blind them. And, as you mentioned about the security and approvals, as regulator is very much taking care of security in terms of, as you mentioned, security. As a civil register advisor, we are invited to follow that rules. And as early days, there is no concept of regulation. Now in India, 2013, there is a regulation. So we are abiding by rules, not intentionally, but by laws. So we are following this practice and definitely we want to implement these things. And like one of the things that you consider approval when the transactions happens. Okay, so that is one of the improvement done by the regulator only, because some things happen in the industry past and people without consent trades and lost the people. So that is there. Anything else that you want to tell us in terms of improvement?
The thing that best worked for us is that the services that come from you are unbiased. You are not siding any particular company, any particular product, and you are charging a fee for that, and we are willing to pay that fees as long as it remains unbiased and it remains in our growth interest, right? So yes, I think every financial planner should be unbiased. It should not be for a particular product or a company. They should be giving. They are good financial planners only if they are unbiased.
I think I go.
Okay, fantastic. Anything that you want to say?
I think, so purely from financial planning, I think fantastic job. We are very happy. But what I like, which happened yesterday, is that you are looking at non-financial goals and trying to see if you can make a difference. I'm not, I wanted to be a pilot when I was growing up, and somebody told me you have glasses and you cannot be a pilot. I didn't know that. Now I know that you can still be a pilot, but those days I was in a village, and my village somebody told me you can't fly. I thought, okay, let's concentrate on engineering. So that thought was left, and now when you heard about it, you introduced us to an institute that at least gives you a simulation experience. That was completely out of the box. I never
It was
expected.
such a personal experience.
It had nothing to do with financial planning. It had nothing to do with professional work. This was something that you
Personal goals.
Yeah, person looked at us, person goals and said, hey, you know what? This is something I can perhaps bring on a table, which is not necessarily my mandate. So I think that was
And you
really
went out of your way and
awesome.
connected with our personal side, which was